G'day guys, how you going? Hope you're all having a fantastic evening. It's very late tonight. I'm about to go to bed, that's why I look like a drowned rat. Once again, I just had a shower, so I apologise for the wet hair. And I do apologise for the state of this camera. I'm very pale for some reason, so I look like a Twilight character. But I can assure you, I'm not a vampire. It's just really sort of bad colouring on the webcam, but that's something I have to live for. So tonight, before I go to bed, I thought I would do a special video. This is going to be a video response from my good friend John, aka Savini1979. He's very well known in the horror community, so you've probably already met him before. But if you haven't, if you're new to YouTube or for whatever reason you just let him slip by, then I will leave a link in the description below. Please subscribe to him if you haven't done so already. I think he was the founder of the House of Horror review channel. So he's done a lot for the horror community, and I think more and more people should sub to this guy. He's awesome. He's become a good friend with me, so I really appreciate his friendship. So please go out and support him if you haven't done so already. So anyway, he was doing a series of his own about horror around the globe, which was similar to what I've been doing. And he recently posted his European horror collection. Now, he has a big horror collection. His European horror was in 2 parts. So the European section is a little bit bigger than mine. I have a few films that he had, and he encouraged video responses for people to show off their collection or films that he may not have seen or have in his collection. So a lot of the films that I saw I have in my collection, but there are a lot of films that I don't have. So I wrote a lot down, so I thank him for the recommendations. And hopefully this pile here I didn't see in his videos, so hopefully this video will prove useful. Now the first film, a lot of these films, if you're familiar with my channel, I've talked a lot about, so bear with me if you see a film that I've talked about time and time again, but this is more to help out John's quest for more horror films from the European nature. So the first one is a film I think I saw in his update. I can't be sure, but I put it in there just in case. That's The Orphanage. A lot has been heard of this one. You don't need me to go on about it. I'm sure that you've already got this one, John, so if you haven't, then I'd suggest you go and buy it. The next one is a film that's recently been made into a Hollywood remake. Every film these days from the foreign cinema seems to be remade by the United States, but this one is the original, Das Experiment. This isn't really a horror film, it's more of a disturbing psychological character case sort of thing. Really good, really disturbing, and it has some really thrilling moments, so I would highly recommend you go and get this one. I really enjoyed this. Really good German film, and Oliver Hirschbergel is the director, the same director of Downfall, which is another really good film. Now this one I did a review not long ago. I absolutely love this one. This is a Spanish time travel thriller, and that is Time Crimes. Love this one. I cannot recommend this highly enough. If you haven't got this one, then I would suggest you go out and see it. Now for anybody else, this is not only directed towards John, it's anybody else who, if you see some films here that you like and you're interested about, don't hesitate to ask about them, and I'll be more than willing to help you out. Now the next one's a Norwegian psychological thriller. I really like this one. I've talked about it a lot, and that is Next Door. Christopher Jonah is fast becoming one of my favourite actors. Can never get sick of this film. It's pretty short, so 70 something minutes, 76. Pretty sweet. This one isn't really a thriller, isn't really a horror, but it's just a really good film, and it does have disturbing elements to it. This is the Swedish film Evil. Very good movie. Brutal in some parts as well. It's about a kid who goes to this boarding school and he's getting picked on, and basically the moral of the story is standing up for your own rights and standing up for others and not being bullied. So it's a really good one. This is a Swedish classic. This is Evil Ed. I'm not sure how easy this is to obtain. I got this sent to me, so I was lucky. This is more of a horror comedy sort of classic. I didn't really regard it that highly, but it's definitely one for a collector to get. This one's directed by the same guy who directed Calvaire for Brits de Velts, but this is an English-speaking film, and I don't really like the English-speaking films. I think the fact that it's in subtitles makes it a little bit more unique, and for some reason I just have higher expectations for foreign films. So when it's in English, obviously it has a good opportunity to be good, but I just get a little bit disappointed when French or Belgian directors decide to make films in the English language. So anyway, this is a really good one though. Vignon, really disturbing. Same sort of atmosphere as Calvaire. I don't think it's as good as Calvaire, but it is a good film. Now, this one really isn't a thriller or a horror. It is, I guess you could say it's a disturbing film. Very, very good though. This is a French classic, Vincent Cassel, La Haine. Probably said that wrong. My French is ridiculously bad, but I don't pretend to be French, so very good movie. Now this one is what part of the new wave of French horror, one of the weaker ones, but I actually thought this is a lot better than some, especially a film called Humaines. I thought that was very weak, but this one, it had really good scenes, really good cinematography, so it's definitely worth picking up. High Lane. You can have this in the dubbed or the French language. I would recommend you see it in the French language because the dubbing is bad. But this is a welcome addition to my French horror collection. Now this one's another very good one. This is more of a thriller. And this is the French, once again it's in black and white. La Haine's in black and white as well. But this one is a very recent film. Now, once again, this has been made into a Hollywood remake, so that sucks. But anyway, 13 Zametti. I'm going to be doing a review of this very soon. Highly recommended. Very disturbing and very, very tense. It's about Russian roulette. And for anyone who's into French horror / thriller, this one is a must-see. This is another French thriller. As you can tell, I love my French movies. And this is a police thriller. 13, I'm not even going to try and pronounce that, but the English title is Department 36. So that is this one. Really, really good thriller. It was a little bit slow, but I actually felt the characters are really good and the story goes along, it's pretty good. A little bit slow in parts, but the overall story is very interesting. Another French thriller. Now this is it goes at a faster pace. This one is Tell No One. Really, really like this one. Really thrilling. Story, once again, very good. The French just have a knack for making some really interesting stories. Whether it's horror or thriller, they're definitely leading the way. Another highly recommended film. Now we go to Sweden. And this is Vaskren, the same guy who directed Evil, which I just showed before. This isn't a very good film, but it was alright, it was solid. A lot of people have told me that the acting was really bad, but I thought the acting was okay. But it was a solid film. There's not really any gore, so that's probably a bad thing, but yeah, it was okay. Not many Swedish horror films going around, so that one was alright. Now the last two are Norwegian films. This one is Detour. Not very original, but I thought it was well made. Reminded me of Vacancy and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre in some parts. Yeah, the Norwegian sort of version of those films. And the last one is Skult. Can't pronounce it. My Norwegian is just as bad as my French. This is another Christopher Jonah film, the same guy from Next Door. Highly recommended once again. A real psychological journey, this one. Really creepy. Once again, not the most original storyline or plot, but it's done really solidly. Alright, that's it for my European horror. And hopefully this is helpful to you, John, and you get some new titles there that you might want to check out. Alright guys, that's it. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. Alright, see you later.